It's Michelle from Weekend Craft here, and I'm so excited because look what just came in the mail. I just got a sublimation oven from Craft Express. Now, I do not have a sublimation oven. I've never used one before, so I'm really excited to get this out of the box. So I was lucky enough that Craft Express sent this over to me to do a review and to try it out. But I just want to say all my thoughts and opinions are my own, as they always are on any of these products. So let's get this out of the box, and I think we should maybe do a stainless steel tumbler and sublimate on it. So let's get this unpacked.
So I have it all unpacked. I have to say this is lighter weight than I thought it was going to be. So here's what came in the packaging. So it comes with a tray similar to an air fryer tray. Essentially the sublimation ovens are air fryers for crafters. They're convection ovens. They just go to a higher temperature. So we also have a tray that is on the bottom. In case anything falls down, it will catch it within this. And then it comes with a heat-resistant glove and oven mitt. So this is the larger size when it comes to sublimation ovens. This is a 25 liter, and it is also 16 inches by 16 inches by 16 inches. So it's fairly large. And it goes from 140 degrees Fahrenheit to 446 degrees Fahrenheit. And the reason that I went with this one is that it has 4 heating tubes. And then you see at the top here, it has like these holes or this ventilation. What this is a top whirlwind. So it creates uniform heat throughout the sublimation oven that will give you a, hopefully, I haven't tried it yet, a great quality transfer because the heat is even. And it has 4-sided enamel cavity, which should keep a consistent heat inside of the oven. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put the tray in, the catch tray along with the basket, and I'm gonna show you guys how to power this up, and then we're gonna do our first project in the actual oven. So one thing I am noticing is that if you have it on a table where the door doesn't hang off, you can't get the catch tray in. It's just very tight. So if that happens to you, just hang the door off your table a bit. Once this is in, unless you're cleaning it, you shouldn't have to take it out. And we're putting our basket in, and there are a couple traps in here, depending on your project size, that you can put it on. I will say I really like the color, and then the front is like a matte finish, which is nice. So it's all plugged in, so to turn it on, you are actually going to hold down this time button for 3 seconds. It will turn on, the light will go on inside, and then, let's see, we have it on Celsius here, so I'm going to hold down the upper, and then it will change it to Fahrenheit. So we have 2 temperature settings here if your tray is on the lower rack or if it is on the upper rack. So it's easy enough to turn it. Say we're setting it for 400 degrees. See, I think you just, yep.
if you let it go for a second, and then it will lock in. Let's say we put both of them at 400 degrees. And our time here, this is moving it by the minute. And then if you press the play button here, it will turn it on. So our oven is now preheating. And we're just gonna give it a little bit of a run. Anytime I get a new heat press or any sort of like oven or anything like that, I like to run it a little bit, and that way, you know, it just came from a factory. I'll kind of burn off some of the factory coating inside as well. So I'm gonna put it on for 5 minutes, let it preheat, and then I'm gonna let it run for that 5 minutes. And the time that I'm doing this, I'm also going to get our design ready and our tumbler ready so we can try this out. So it is preheated. So you can see it is starting to count down now. So I'm just gonna let this go for about 5 minutes and then we're gonna get ready to do a project. So the items you're going to need to sublimate the tumbler are a sublimation tumbler. Now you can't just use any tumbler. It needs to be made for sublimation because this has a polyester coating on it for the sublimation ink to adhere to with heat. So these are from Craft Express. I will link everything you see here below. Next, you'll need some heat resistance tape. This is from Artistry. I love their tape. I always have it on hand. And then you are going to need some heat resistant gloves because when you use the heat gun or when this comes out of the sublimation oven, it is going to be hot. Okay, next up are these tumbler clamps. So when you're taping your design on to this tumbler, you're gonna wish you had another set of hands, and that is what this is going to do for you. It's going to enable you to clamp the design on so you have better leverage to get the seam tight. And then you are also going to need a shrink wrap sleeve for your tumbler. You're gonna put this on after the design with your heat gun. Now, this is a heat gun that is, I have it for my house. I've used it to strip furniture, to help remove wallpaper. You can also use like a craft heat gun as well. You're also going to need sublimation paper for your sublimation printer. I like using a sub. I will also link that sublimation paper below for you. And then I also have this heat map. This is also from Artistry, and I like having this to protect my surface for when I take this tumbler out of the sublimation oven. You can also use a Cricut heat mat. I mean, if you don't have one of these, you could probably also use like a folded up towel. You just want to protect your surface. So now that we have this cut, we are going to put it on our mug here. Now, what you should do is take a lint roller and run it around your mug, but I can't find mine right now, so is what it is. So you're gonna put this flat down on a surface. And what that will do is give you a baseline to wrap this around, because we want it level and even. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of these, and I'm
I'm going to close it around. Just trying to get it lined up here. So you want to get this right. I know I'm doing this away from the camera, but okay. So I'm going to do this at the top here. You put it on like this. And then you put that rubber band on. I'm going to do it again in the middle. And this is just helping me pull the seam tighter. I was afraid this was going to be too short. Now I'm afraid it's going to be too long. But let's see. I'm going to flip this over. And now I'm going to start to tape this. What I like to do is have a few pieces ready of my tape. Okay, so I'm getting that seam to line up. Feel good about that. And I'm overlapping the tape as I go. So now I'm going to grab a few more pieces of tape. So you're basically taping down this entire tumbler. Seems like a lot of tape because it is. That's why you may want to cut some of your tape beforehand. Okay, so we have this fully taped. Now what I'm going to do is we want to make sure that the top is secure. So I'm running one the long way and pulling down and over. Then I'm gonna do some longer pieces. So next up, you're gonna run your scraper tool Now, if you're having problems with the top sticking, you can run a couple more pieces the long way. It honestly feels like there's a little bit of a coating inside here. I think that's gonna be okay. So anyway, I am just running this along. You can also kind of do this along your table. Okay, now we are ready for the shrink wrap. So I'm gonna get the shrink wrap out and my heat gun. So we have our shrink wrap sleeve here. So we are going to fit our tumbler in it. Like so. Then you're going to want to make sure that you have a heat glove. I also want to protect my table. And I'm turning on my heat gun. I set it to 300. So basically what this does, it puts pressure on your sublimation sheet. And you need this because we're putting it in an open oven, not a tumbler press. Okay, so on the packaging for these tumblers, it says it needs 360 degrees for 6 minutes. Okay. So I have this set for 6 minutes. We are going to preheat it and it will beep and let me know when it's done, and then we'll put it inside. And you can tell that it's preheating by this blinking right here. So you hear that sound, it's preheated and the blinking is off. So I am putting my mug or my tumbler in the bottom rack. You can see the time has started. Now we have about 7 seconds left, so we're going to take this out and place it on our heat mat. This is an artist preheat mat. You definitely don't want to put it directly on to a surface. This is going to be extremely hot. Make sure you have some heat resistant gloves. I'm putting it right onto here. Even through the gloves, it is hot. Okay, now I'm gonna let it cool down a bit. So it's still warm, so I have my gloves on, but it is like touchable. It's good that we can see the design through the shrink wrap here. So I'm gonna be using my scissors, and then I also grabbed the hook tool in case I need it for the tape. Now, be careful because you don't want to scrape your design below. Oh my gosh, this looks good. Okay, overlapping it is key when you're doing this so it all rips off in one piece. You all, I'm so excited about this. Okay. It is beautiful. Oh my goodness. Trying to see if I can tell where the seam was. Okay. I can tell a little bit where the seam is right here, but barely. Okay, this is stunning. I can't believe I made this. I'm so excited.
This came out so beautiful. The colors are really vivid. And, you know, looking at it, I can barely see the seam. Like, it takes a bit to find it, but it is right here. So, not bad at all. Overall, I'm really impressed with the process of using the sublimation oven. You can see here, this was our transfer sheet, and there's just slight ghosting of the ink that's remaining, but this infused into the polyester coating that is on the stainless steel mug, or tumbler. Again, I got these tumblers from Craft Express, and I'm really excited about them. It looks like you could have bought them in a store. Now I gotta make another one, because I'm too excited. Okay, how great did this tumbler come out in our sublimation oven? Now, I have to say, I kind of went into this with really no expectations, never having used a sublimation oven before. I will say I'm really impressed. I loved the even heat of it. I absolutely love the color of it. And I think the size is really great. What I'm looking forward to is being able, in my studio here, because it's outside of my home, being able to do polymer clay crafts in this oven, because it's something I can't do right now here, and I love making polymer clay jewelry. So when I do a video on that, I'll be sure to post it below in the description. And make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can check out that video and other ones that come up in the future. I do want to say I have been thinking about whether I like the sublimation oven more or the tumbler press. And here's my thoughts on it. Now, the sublimation oven is great because you can kind of, you know, shrink wrap your tumbler here, place it in the oven, and then you don't have to turn it. You don't have to worry about any of that or over pressing. Now, I will say that it takes about 6 minutes to sublimate in the oven, where it takes like 60 seconds to sublimate on a tumbler press with that direct pressure. So if you are doing a large order, maybe it is more beneficial for you to have a tumbler, or tumbler press, but you can fit in multiple tumblers at once in the oven. So just a little food for thought there. Also, I do not like changing out the plates on a tumbler press for different sizes. So you kind of skip that. You just need different size shrink wrap for the oven. So there's pros and cons to each of it. But right now I am really loving this oven. And to be honest, guys, this was my first time using it. You saw me do it right out of the box. So I'll come back in a couple months when I've used this a lot and give you a full in-depth review, just so I can show you kind of like over a span of time how I really liked the machine, and just be able to talk a little bit more about my experience with it. But if you are interested in this, I have the link below in the description. And then also, I made this cute Valentine's Day tumbler. If you want to see a full in-depth on how I make the seamless tumbler, once the video is live, I will put it down in the description below. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you on the next one.